welcome to this new episode of Continuum Gaming, this time around in English as you may already have noticed. And today we are going to have a look at 3 different games again, which will be Cloud Castle, Dragon Maze and Dragon Arena. And as you may already have noticed too, it's more or less everything about dragons and a little bit about medieval stuff. But in the end everything has to do with dragons in this episode. So yeah, we are going to use the arc mouse in this case, of course, and we are going to use the foldable keyboard. As you already all know, those are the Bluetooth devices we're using for input device, and those to every episode now. And in the end, we are going to use the Xbox One S wireless controller too in this episode, because there's one game that really, pretty much greatly supports this, and it's really fun to play the game with it. So we are going to use it too in this case. Yeah, and the core of all of this is of course the Lumia 50XL, which is the smartphone with Continuum enabled software on it, which is Windows 10 Mobile of course. And in the end we have a Lumia USB-C connector at the bottom, and this USB-C connector is connected with a cable, of course, to the display dock at the side here. The display dock itself is connected by HDMI in this case to the TV, and like that we can have a look at this desktop-like experience, which is created only by this smartphone. And yeah, if you want to know more about that, please have a look at the corner up there. There's a couple of different other videos where I'm talking about that too. Yeah, and then I would say let's start with the first game, which is Cloud Castle. Cloud Castle is a pretty nice little management game, whatever. You know already a couple of those, and it's, I think, one of the nicer ones for this kind of part, but many of you already know the kind of stuff that Modern Stark does here. So Modern Stark does seem to have some kind of an engine on preparation tool or something, and is creating everything there. But what I like about this one is it's looking pretty neatly. So if we have a look at that, we are going to build our own little craftsman shop or something we could call it. As you can see, there is this guy who is trying to kill everything here. He is called Bösewicht in German. That means nothing else than the evil guy, more or less. And yeah, so you are going to have to rebuild everything that the Bösewicht did here. So we have to, more or less reassemble everything that was killed by that. And of course, it's a cloud castle we are going to build in this case. So let's have a look. First off, you of course have to click and follow the instructions more or less. So click on the destroyed building there, and then let's start with the first stuff. As you can see, we are going to build more or less at the start some kind of a weaponry. So in this case a sword, and this sword is going to be built in a stock or in a store in the end, and like that we can create different weaponaries and people can buy them and do stuff with them. So let's have a look at that. First off, we are going to build a sword. As you can see, there's going to be a small sword shop or whatever you want to call that. That is going, or a small workshop, probably a workshop is a better name. And it's going to be the one where the swords are going to be created. And as you can see, there's this little guy and he is trying to build a sword in this case. If we click on them, or him in this case, we can have a look at this, and there you can see it's still 15 seconds till it's ready. We can, of course, fasten that up if we want to. Let's do that. And after that we are creating one sword, and you can collect them now, and as you can see there's a customer coming through who wants to buy a sword, which is a pretty neat and good thing because we just created one. And like that. He's going to produce swords for us now, and of course you're going to increase in levels, and each level will more or less unlock different abilities, like for instance building an axe and stuff like that. And sooner or later you're going to be able to fulfill different kind of dreams. As you can see, customers are coming through and they are trying to buy stuff, and you should be prepared for them, because they are trying to get different things here. And now, of course, since we have the ability to build this one too, an Zexian X more or less, I'm going to put that here, press OK, and there is a workshop now in the making more or less. It needs a little bit, and those guys are trying to get that. And yeah, let's see what he is going to produce for us. Let's have a look at this, because they're telling us we should have a look at that again. And yeah, of course you can create more than one of those, so if the demand is pretty high, just build more of the workshops here. And now it's all about collecting everything and going on, trying to unlock new levels with new possibilities, as you can see, and yeah, just try to fulfill the customer's needs here. That guy got us a couple of X's now, so this should be fine. Maybe a hellbait or something, I'm not sure. Let's see. First off, we can now create this kind of saw workshop, so we are going to put it here. And now it's going to work on. In some situations you're going to find different things here which are going to fly by, and there are going to be abilities to unlock and stuff like that. Maybe even some kind of power-ups and stuff like that are going to be collectible. Sooner or later they're going to get on here, and if you click on that, for instance, you can see how many stuff you have in stock in this case. And yeah, it's a pretty nice little game to build up, get better in. Just come back after a while and see what's going on and what's happening. And yeah, this is more or less a game. You already know this kind of games, because I already had a couple of them in my portfolio here. This time is themed, as mentioned before, with this kind of medieval cloud castle style, and it's a nice little addition here. And as you can see, there are going to be monuments you can create. For instance, in this case, the dwarfed monument, and of course this one has to be built, and to build this you have to invest more or less money in that, and access and stuff like that. So you really have to make sure that you can create everything here, and after a while then you can put that up. And just to let you know, it's going to be, or you are going to be able to put stuff, for instance, in the higher parts there too. So don't be misled or led by the roof here or something. You can put everything on that. It's not going to break down or be damaged in some kind of way. You're just going to have to build that there, because otherwise you don't have the space to do it. So yeah, other than that, I would say just try it out if you like this kind of games. It's a pretty good one, and I like the abilities here. So in the end, it's a simple one, but I like to play it sometimes. Okay, so let's have a look at a little bit of a more advanced game, which is called Dragon Maze. Dragon Maze is really a 3D game where you are going to run around in a maze, and you are trying to collect more or less statues of dragons. And I'm going to show you what's going on there. So let's have a look at that. First off, click on that, and here's Dragon Maze. And it's a pretty nice game, if you ask me, for something that you play in between, of course. You're not going to play this for a whole lot of long time or something. These are more or less statues you are going to try to find in the maze. And I'm going to turn around to play this game, because otherwise I'm just not good at it. And this one should be played with your keyboard or with touch controls. I'm going to use the keyboard in this case for that then. And I'm going to turn around and show you what's going on. As you can see, there is an AR version for this too. So if you are on your smartphone itself, you can click on that and go to the AR version. In this kind of scenario, there's nothing that is going to happen if I click on that. But on your smartphone, you can try that out. It's a pretty neat thing. And you are going to turn around and move your moving maze part there with your more or less orientation of yourself. But in the end, for now, we're not going to do that. I'm just clicking on that, and as you can see, you are going to be in more or less this maze-like scenario. And yeah, what is this all about? You have to find a way through the maze to find dragons. As you can see, there are 3 dragons left at the moment in this maze, and we are just going to navigate here. You're just going to use the arrow keys in this case. So left and right is already enough. And you're not going to be able to control how fast you are be going or something. So it's always a continuous movement to the front. And then you just have to find those guys here. And the most important part about it is that you do not like, or you should not hit the walls in any kind of way. If you are doing that, you can see the health bar here more or less. It's going to go down after a while then. And if you have hit, I think, 3 or 4 times one of the walls, you're going to die. It has this kind of levels, so in the end, as you can see at the moment, all the stones at the wall are this color and this color style, and the next one will be a little bit different. There's one, let's say, power-up or something, which can be activated by pressing the spacebar, and as you can see, now we are more or less teleported to a little bit up, and now we can see where we have to go to find the next one. As you can see, we will have to go to the right a little bit, go to the last part there, and then to the left, and again to the left to find our part. So let's see what we can, ouch. Yeah, okay. So I hit the wall too many times, or too heavily in this case, more or less. And so we will have to start over. Let's see again. Yeah. So first one is reachable by just going here. Oh, and just for the record, you can of course move around in this scenery too. So if you are at this point of view, you can just move around. What you can't do is tilt the camera or something, so you really have to work with what you can see here. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Thank you. That wasn't meant to be like that. And as you can see, it might happen to you for a couple of times that you are running against the walls and stuff like that, and that the health bar is going to turn red or something. It really isn't that hard to do to not hit the walls. You just have to be a little bit more patient than I am in this situation in some kind of way. So, but first off, let's collect those different statues there. You're going to run around here, as you can see. And there's this little indication, so you see all the different sparkles and particles there. And yeah, what's happening there is more or less helping you to run around in this maze, because otherwise you might not know where to go. But in this case, we can have a look at that and try to find the dragons in a more simple way or something. So one more is going to be found in this maze, and as you can see, there it is. And yeah, this was the first level, and there are going to be different levels after that. So we might start with a second one, but it doesn't make sense to show you everything here, because this is more or less a game. There's not much to be. Oh, come on. Yeah, sometimes they are a little bit unfair in just letting you run into the wall from the first start off, but whatever. As you can see, the different textures here have changed a little, so the maze is of course a different one. Oh, and behind me there was already a dragon, which is a little bit, yeah, let's say unfair. You're going to run around, of course, and try to get the different races, the different dragons here, and yeah, they just have hit one of them just right behind you, which is a little bit, come on, don't be cheesy with me in such a maze, but whatever. Yeah, and now you're just going to have to solve this one too. As I mentioned before, spacebar is going to bring you up and make it possible to turn around here, as you can see, and have a look where to go. As you can see, there is a dragon because of the particles, you can see them already. And over there at the upper left corner now, there is one too. And like this, you would have to go through the maze now and try to solve everything. And yeah, as mentioned before, don't hit the walls too many times. That might harm you after a while, and then you are going to have to restart. Yeah, and this is more or less what this game is all about. I'm going to click on that now. Yeah, and like this, it's more or less a pretty nice game. You can rate the game if you like it. It's really nothing you have to worry too much about. You can just play it for a couple of different seconds or minutes if you want to. And yeah, just go on with it. Play it as long as you might want, and after that, just close it down and play it at the next day. You are going to have fun with it. If you like this kind of maze and you don't want too fast games or something, then this might be a good one for you. And yeah, just try it out. Okay, so let's leave this game and go to the last one, which is Dragon Arena. Dragon Arena is a pretty nice game, which can be played, as mentioned before, with the Xbox One S wireless controller, and it really fits the Xbox One S wireless controller pretty much. You are going to use different controls here, or a couple of them. I will show you that later on. And yeah, so let's go to the all apps list first. And I'm going to go to Dragon Arena 3 in this case. And let's have a look at that. Yeah, what is this game all about? The cool thing about the game is that you're going to play a dragon, and the dragon is going to fly around and is firing at other dragons. And you will have to fight the other dragons in a deathmatch kind of way. You can do it in a team match, and there's a capture the flag, I think. And yeah, so put in your own name if you want to, or just leave the one that already is there. It doesn't really matter, whatever you want to do there. I'm going to put in Fuhu in this case, because this is a dragon too, so why not? And yeah, after that, just click on connect. In general, you could play that with other players, but at the moment there are really rarely players online. So what you will have to do is create an own server, and you're going to play against bots. And that's fine too. It is fun to play it anyway. And as you can see, there are a couple of different options here. So go with the deathmatch, team deathmatch, and capture the flag, as mentioned before. And you can choose between different skins. Some of them are not yet available, as you can see, so you would have to buy the full version for them. But you can already play it in a pretty nice way here if you do it like this. And now let's go with the deathmatch first, and I will create a server for that. You can try to join a server, but as mentioned before, there are no servers at the moment available because it's a smaller game. I don't think that there will be many in future, but whatever, let's create a server. And if you do that, you are going to play against bots first, and if somebody is joining in, you can of course play against him too. And yes, this is more or less the game scenario. You are going to have some kind of a world where you're fighting against the other dragons. And in the end, you can hit start then, or you can just wait for other players to join, but that will not happen in general at the start at least. And I'm going to turn around for that. You can use your mouse to control it. If you don't have a gamepad or something, that's fine too. Or you can of course go with your touchpad controls there. And yeah, additional to that, of course, the gaming pad. I will have to check if it's available at the start. No, it's not. So I'm going to have to do the little trick. And as you can see, this is the dragon, and the other guys are going to fight you. There is the health bar, more or less. So at the moment I'm going to die a couple of times. Doesn't really matter. And there we are. Just shut down the controller once and bring it in again. And as you can see, you can fight against them now with different kinds of fiery breath weapons, more or less. And you're flying around against these guys. I think you have unlimited armor. If they die in the deathmatch, it really doesn't matter much, because you're going to be recast then, and somebody killed me from the side. And you're going to use at the gamepad that one for the secondary fire mode, and that one for the first fire mode, and of course this one to to just navigate around. You're flying in front, of course, so this is not going to change anything. And as you can see, these are more or less power-ups, so if you are going to be hit by one of the dragons here, which probably will happen pretty fast, you are going to be able to recover a little bit, at least, and we got one. As you can see, Komodo estimated by Fucho in this case, and yeah, in the end, as you can see, it's a pretty nice game if you like to go with fiery dragons. There are a couple of different dragon types available here. I don't think that they have any kind of advantages compared to the other dragon types here, so you're going to be killed by, for instance, icy dragons and some kind of a ground dragon and stuff like that. And this is more or less the secondary fire mode, which I think is a little bit like aim seeking. I'm not sure exactly, but I think so. As you can see, if you have him more or less in your fire breath there, it's going to be aim seeking. And this is more or less the part where everybody will kill you with. Most people are not firing with a normal fire here and killing you, but the other one. But the good thing is, the normal fire mode is of course always available, and the other one is has a cooldown. So as you can see, there are different kinds of maps here, and we are going to try to kill that guy. See if we can. As you can see, if you are hit by something, you're going to have this more or less, yeah, cloudy part there, whatever you want to call that. I think I killed one. No, it was the other guy. But now we killed one. And yeah, just try to not be hit. It's a little bit hard to not get hit by those yeah, aim-seeking ones, which are pretty much what they are using at the moment. I think I got one anyway, which is a little bit fun. Oh! And if we fire at one of the... didn't notice that. So even if you fire on the ice cubes there, that might even do something here. Now we got both of them a little bit to the half. As you can see, you're going to die pretty fast if they are trying to really get you. Oh, come on. Die. Okay, now I got one. And the second one with a normal fire mode, which was pretty cool. As you can see, the purple one is firing this purple fireballs, more or less, which are the seeking ones. Ooh, I just skipped one, if you ask me, don't know. In the end, this is more or less a game. Health bar up there, you have a couple of minutes to play in one of the arenas now, and other than that, just try to kill everybody. That's more or less what this game is all about. It's a really nice deathmatch game in this case. You can of course go with a team game, as I mentioned before too. But in the end, it's more or less going to be all the same stuff here. Capture the flag is exactly what you would expect that to be. Oh, come on. Okay. At least got him with that one. He's going to try to fly around. The problem is you're not alone. So even so, that might be okay for you. The other guy is going to catch up with you sometimes, so you might want to try to get him in a different way, but got killed by him, whatever. Yeah, and so this is more or less a game. I really like it. It's a fun game, especially if there are other players around in this game. And you can play it with the Xbox One as well as controller. As mentioned before, you can play it with different other kinds of input devices. And there are a couple of different other maps, like the arena one, which is the Colosseum one. There is this double tower one, and I think there's one more available. in the free version, and of course if you buy the full version there are a couple of different more. And yeah, this is more or less a game. I really like it. If you like it too, or if you're a fan of dragons and stuff like that, this might really be a good game for you. Just try it out. I think it's fun to play, and yeah, I just would suggest you to try it out. And this is more or less the end of the episode. I hope you had fun with it. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up, of course. If you have any kind of commentaries, questions, whatever, put them down below in the commentary section. And other than that, thank you for watching, thank you for listening. Don't forget to subscribe if you didn't till now, and then see you in the next episode. Have fun, have a great week, stay healthy, and bye. Bye.